everyone, my name is Miranda Roy. For this week's discussion, I'm in my car because I've got two kids inside, 3 and 5, and they are very loud, so don't mind me sitting in my car. So whenever it comes to my responsibilities in promoting children's wellness in day-to-day operations at my facility that I work in, it's constant. It's all day. As soon as I walk in that door to whenever I leave, and especially even when I go home. So it's all day for me. As soon as I walk to my classroom, I make sure to wash my hands. And a big thing for like safety wise, we have ratios. So even before I wash my hands, I walk into my classroom and the children's cubbies. I work in the pre-toddler toddler room. Children's cubbies, and then we have a baby gate. So on top of the cubbies, we keep our ratio. So we take the clipboard, we have to do name to face. So you're going to call the children's name and you're going to put that name with a face to make sure you know you've got eyes on all the children. So I do that. I walk in, wash my hands, and I make sure to engage with the children because you know, if you're walking in, washing your hands, and you're just carrying on conversation with your staff other than greeting the children pick up on that. So you want to start your day with greeting the children and then, you know, being engaged. It is also my responsibility to make sure that parents sign their children in. This is also a big one because, like I said, we have those ratio boards. So obviously, if a parent forgets to sign their child in, we as staff sign them in, but we need to call up to the front desk to make sure, you know, what time they had came in. But it is very important to make sure all children get signed in, and then say maintenance, if they come in for anything, maintenance needs to sign in underneath visitors, and they need to go straight to the sink to wash their hands. Now, not everyone might like that, but that is like the one thing that I just promote. They have to come in and wash their hands because you're coming in with children, so we don't know where their hands have been before entering the facility. So that is like big on my list. Make sure they always wash their hands. That's parents, children, anybody that walks into the classroom. So I work in a pre-toddler toddler classroom. I'm not sure if I stated that. So right now at this age group, it's very widespread right now. They're potty training. So you know, a lot of times I'll have parents just bring in underwear one day and say, hey, I'm trying to potty train my kids. So basically, we have child-sized sinks, child-sized toilets. So whenever it comes to potty training, I see it every single day. You know, this age group, most children, any age group, they want to try and be independent. So my students, they want to try and do it themselves. So we let them, you know, they pull up and down their pull-ups, but more times than not, they will miss the toilet. So a lot of times after toileting, we want to make sure that the floors are free from fluids and the children are properly wiped and cleaned up. So after that, they know to go wash their hands. But we have pre-toddlers in the classroom, so obviously we still diaper, and not every toddler is potty training. So when it comes to diapering, we have our diaper station right in front of the child-sized toilets. So you know, I'll go get my the children, I'll go get them, and then you know, a lot of times the children will fight me on washing their hands, but we'll sing a song, and it's the hand washing song in our classroom. So it's scrub, scrub, scrub your hands, scrub them nice and clean, scrub the bottoms and the tops, fingers in between. So we'll sing that 2 times, and the kids really love that. So we'll do that, and then I'll guide them over to you know, the diaper station. We have all the diapers and wipes and stuff and creams underneath, and they're locked up. That's another big safety thing for promoting wellness, is having those things locked up to where the kids can't get them. So will place the mat, but I always like to make sure I re-sanitize the diaper station, because we have like ratios, so a lot of times either we're by ourselves or just with one other teacher. So whenever you're trying to watch all these children in diaper, you know, sometimes it's like you toss out the dirty diaper, and then you get the child down, you want to make sure they wash their hands, and then another thing's happening over here. So I always like to re-sanitize, because sometimes I feel like that stuff could go missing, because you know, you never know what happens in a classroom full of toddlers, pre-toddlers. So I re-sanitize, and at our center we're only allowed to, for diapering, we can't wipe more than once with a certain wipe. So basically I have to get all my wipes out, and then we wipe, discard, wipe, discard. So that's big at our center to prevent infections. Let me see. Whenever it comes to communicating with the families, I feel like that is number one on my list, because your parents have to know what's going on in the classroom, because their child is with us up to 8 hours a day. So a lot of things can happen in that 8 hours, whether it's signs of being sick, it's like, and all that. Like, they're with us 8 hours throughout the day. So communicating with the parent to let them know what's going on, whether it be sickness, behaviors, anything of that nature, we have to communicate with the parents, because how are they supposed to implement it at home if we're not communicating with them? So for the next question, I feel like promoting wellness is very similar for the different age groups, but it does vary. So in the toddler, pre-toddler room, which is my room that I work in, unless I get sent to another room for breaks or something. So we have our room set up to where there's no clutter. That includes around the entrance, and around the door, anywhere. We make sure there's no clutter. Like, especially my trainer, she's big on that. Like, with toddlers, pre-toddlers, any child, like, more than anything, they'll go to the center and they'll take a bucket and they'll just dump it. So that's what I'm big on, is keeping the children in a center, and they know that they have to clean up their mess before they move to a different center, because we cannot have toys laying all around the floor. That is a big risk for injury, like falls. So going back to like the clutter and stuff, it's also important to have space in between all of the centers. So we have our circle time center, we have block center, we have housekeeping, we have all different centers. We have water table centers. They are all spread out, because especially with this age group and up, I would say, because, you know, infants, they don't run. So children love to run. It's just when they get excited, they're chasing friends, they're just running. So that's why it's really important to have space and no clutter to prevent falls, because I've seen it. Kids fall and hit their head off a chair. So we need to make sure all the chairs are pushed in, no clutter, nothing. And then I use this term 1,000 times a day, walking feet, because toddlers, any child, they're all curious. And like I said, when they get excited, they want to run. Now, our preschool and strong beginnings rooms, they're actually a lot alike. In fact, they share a playground, and toddlers and infants share a playground. So our playgrounds are on separate sides of the buildings. Our toddlers can definitely not go into the playgrounds with the preschool or strong beginnings, just because the equipment is not age appropriate for them. And then a big one I feel in promoting all age groups is helping the children do things independently. Whether it be pulling up and down their pants or writing with a pencil. I just feel like, you know, that's a big way to promote wellness as well. Now, my center only goes from ages up to ages 4 and 5. So for school age children, I don't have much experience working with them, but I have an almost 6-year-old at home. I'm always ensuring his and his brother's wellness by teaching them how to be independent, making sure that they know the proper times to wash their hands or brush their teeth, and showing them right from wrong. Now, with my kids, I have 2 boys. Children, they don't like doing those things. I'm not really sure why, but you know, I just find myself having to push my children to brush their teeth, but I always make sure I let them know how important it is to brush their teeth, wash their hands, and why it's important. Now, I definitely have long-term responsibility in promoting children's wellness. Like I said, I'm a mother, and I want to teach my children about their wellness and how important it is to keep up with themselves. I also plan to stay in childcare as my career. I find it so interesting how much young children pick up on. That children see you doing something, they want to do it too. So it's really easy to make things fun and not boring, and you know, that's a big thing about promoting it. You can, like I said, my hand washing song, but you really need to just be honest with the children. Tell them why it's important, you know, put reasoning behind. You just can't sit here and tell a child, go wash your hands because they need to be clean. You have to let them know we need to wash our hands to prevent germs from spreading. We don't want to spread germs. So that's big. And then I also feel like the way you talk to a child, because you can't just, you know, tell them what to do. You have to, you know, they're people too. So I always like to talk to my kids, hey, we have to wash our hands, or for example, hey, we have to brush our teeth because we don't want our teeth to go bad. So there's a way to promote wellness to children, but we just can't talk at them. We have to let them experience and learn for themselves, because they learn something new every day from us, and that is our job as child care providers. So that's my discussion video. Thank you for listening.